of a science fiction novel, a brain-eating disease with no treatment and no cure. The problem is it's real, and it's already killed thousands of people in the United States.
Tonight, 13 Investigates reporter Bob Siegel shows all of us how this devastating disease has struck right here in Indiana, and no one knows where it's coming from.
You know, Zane taught me how to live. Of all my siblings, him and I were the tightest. He was my rock. When the funeral home came, I helped put him in the body bag. And to think of life without him in that moment was the scariest thing.
Zane Mingus died 2 years ago. It's how he died that's so hard for his sister to understand. The first sign that something was wrong came when Zane got dizzy and started to forget things.
You know, all of a sudden he starts falling, and he couldn't remember where he was driving to. This once vibrant face that lit up the room just became a blank stare.
Can you take this finger and touch your nose?
Doctors began to study Zane's mysterious illness as family watched him get worse every day.
The decline was just so rapid. He lost all function in every sense of the word. Lost the ability to walk, lost the ability to write. My brother was so full of life and independent. What you see in that video was truly a different person.
A doctor at the Cleveland Clinic finally diagnosed what was wrong.
I couldn't believe what I was hearing. They were 75% sure that it was CJD.
CJD, or Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease in people, works exactly the same way mad cow disease works in cattle. Researchers say it literally eats away the brain.
The microscopic appearance is akin to a sponge, so it looks like a bunch of little holes in the brain.
You can look in a microscope to see what he's talking about. The pink area is healthy brain tissue. The white spaces are the holes, brain tissue that's been attacked and destroyed by CJD.
His brain turned to a sponge.
We therefore commit his body to the ground.
CJD kills quickly. For Zane, it was diagnosis to death in just 40 days.
When I would ask my husband if he would like to talk, he would say maybe later, but later never really came.
Alice Bennett of Bloomington also learned about CJD the hard way. She watched the disease cripple and kill her husband, Jack.
There was such a change in him every day.
Picture a perfectly healthy man. That was Jack Bennett, an eye doctor, former dean of Indiana University's School of Optometry. On weekends, you'd find Jack playing with his grandkids. And then CJD changed everything. A doctor in Missouri broke the news.
He said, you know, we don't know where he got it, how he got it, when he got it, and there's nothing he can do. We can do for him. It's time for you to go home, back to Indiana and with your family.
So where does CJD come from? Well, in Europe, some people have gotten CJD from eating beef infected with mad cow disease. But that is not happening here in the United States. There's never been a single case of CJD linked to American cattle. So if it's not coming from cows, where is it coming from?
This is amazing, eh?
That's what Dr. Bernardino Getty is trying to figure out at the IU School of Medicine. He has spent decades examining human brains, trying to unlock the secrets of this devastating disease. Dr. Getty says CJD occurs when normal proteins in our brain mutate and begin attacking the brain, but no one knows why it happens.
We do not have a clear notion about how a patient may contract it.
Why people get CJD isn't the only dilemma. Figuring out when people get it is another problem because the disease is largely unknown. Dr. James Mastriani at the University of Chicago says even many doctors don't know about it.
It can masquerade as a variety of diseases. There's a lot of neurologists that haven't seen CJD and don't recognize the disease and the subtleties of it.
They put oxygen on them to just keep them comfortable.
That's why victims' families want other people to know about CJD.
I never thought that CJD would be a part of my vocabulary or my family's.
They hope more attention and more research will lead to more hope.
I always thought that I would have another 50 years with him. That was my Zane.
Government officials say CJD affects only 1 in a million people. But tomorrow, we'll show you why those statistics could be very wrong, especially here in Indiana, where doctors don't have to follow the same policies as doctors in other states. We'll also show you why Alzheimer's patients should pay special attention to this disease. That's tomorrow on Eyewitness News at 6 o'clock.
It is so unsettling that there is no known cause.
There isn't. Researchers are trying to figure out what's causing it. We'll have more on that later in the week as well.
All right, Bob, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It is a devastating disease that eats away at the human brain. You've probably never heard of it. In fact, the government says it's very rare. But this disease has already struck thousands of Americans. And tonight, 13 Investigates reporter Bob Siegel shows you why it may be killing more people than the statistics suggest, especially right here in Indiana.
It's a cold, windy October day, and inside this hospice, Barb Cusick knows her husband is dying.
This is not the man that I married and loved for 41 years. I can't imagine my life without him.
No one could have imagined what is happening to Ray Cusick. It's why his wife invited me to bring a home video camera to Ray's bedside so you can begin to understand what Ray is going through. You see, just a few months earlier, Ray was the picture of perfect health.
Attaboy.
At first, Ray started feeling dizzy. He then lost his balance and began hallucinating. It took months for doctors to figure out Ray had a brain disorder called CJD, Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, and doctors told Barb there was nothing they could do.
Give him a shot, give him some medication. There's got to be something. Nothing. Even before he complained about being dizzy, he was dying, and nothing could be done.
CJD doesn't just kill, it kills fast. From Ray's first symptom to his last breath, about 90 days. Ray died last October, just a few hours after my visit. And there are thousands of stories just like Ray's.
This was just out of the blue like a lightning bolt. Couldn't believe it. She was really healthy.
CJD killed this grandmother from Fort Wayne. Jean Burgett's daughters remember what CJD did to their mother.
She went to take a bath, and she forgot to get out of the bathtub. She forgot how to get out of the bathtub.
She forgot how to climb the stairs.
We just kept seeing her drastically changing every day, hourly sometimes.
From perfectly fine to death in 7 weeks.
Government statistics show CJD has killed more than 100 Hoosiers and more than 5,000 Americans in the past 20 years. That means about 1 in a million people get it. But some studies suggest that number could be much higher.
This could be